The galaxy had long established a hierarchy of power. At the top stood the Velmar, with their natural armor and brute strength. In the middle tiers were species like the Exomi, with their telekinetic abilities, and the Drell, with their advanced technological acumen. At the very bottom, mocked, pitied, and often preyed upon, were the Fluffs. Small, furry creatures with oversized eyes and delicate limbs, they possessed no natural defenses. Their homeworld had been conquered centuries ago, their population scattered across the galaxy as pets, curiosities, and occasionally meals. Until the humans arrived. Captain Tom Reed of the Earth exploration vessel Phoenix first encountered a Fluff aboard a trading post in the Orion sector. The tiny creature cowered in a cage, trembling as alien merchants haggled over its price. "What's that?" Tom asked his diplomatic officer K. According to the translator, they're called Fluffs. Bottom-tier species, considered vermin by most standards. Something in Tom's heart stirred as the Fluff looked at him with eyes that seemed to hold both intelligence and despair. Without hesitation, he purchased the creature using their expedition's cultural exchange budget. The ship's xenobiologist, Dr. James Wilson, examined the Fluff, whom the crew named Puff, and made a startling discovery. "Captain, this isn't just a cute animal. Brain scans show complex neural patterns consistent with sapient thought. They're intelligent, but their vocal cords can't produce speech recognizable to most species." Tom's eyes widened. "You're telling me we've rescued a sentient being that's been treated as a pet?" "Worse," James said grimly, "more like a sentient being treated as vermin." Within weeks, the crew developed a simple interface that translated Puff's high-frequency vocalizations. The truth was even more disturbing than they imagined. "My people were once proud," Puff explained. "We built cities, created art. Then the Velmar came. We had no defenses. They'd found us cute but useless, so we became objects." The story spread across humanity's colonies like wildfire. Earth's government, driven by public outrage, launched a diplomatic initiative to recognize Fluff's sentience and rights. The galactic powers dismissed it as human sentimentality, further proof that humans, as newcomers to interstellar society, didn't understand galactic realities. That changed when the Velmar attacked the human colony on Proxima Centauri Adili. The Velmar, irritated by humanity's diplomatic pestering, decided a show of force would silence these upstarts. They expected an easy victory against the physically weaker humans. They didn't expect what awaited them. As Velmar dropships descended, they encountered not just human defense forces, but humans with Fluffs riding on their shoulders or strapped to special harnesses on their chests. Each Fluff wore a small device at their throat. Primary insertion point identified, chirped a Fluff to its human partner, Major Lisa Hart. Lisa nodded and relayed the information to command. The Fluff's extraordinary vision and hearing made them perfect spotters. Their ability to detect frequency changes in energy fields, useless for defense on their own, made them living sensor arrays when paired with human troops. The Velmar soldiers, 8 feet of armored muscle, laughed at the sight of their former pets on the battlefield. The laughter stopped when precision strikes hit their vulnerable points with uncanny accuracy. What the galaxy had never understood was that Fluffs possessed perfect spatial memory and the ability to detect microscopic weaknesses in a structure, including biological armor. What they lacked was the physical capability to exploit these weaknesses. Humans, with their remarkable hand-eye coordination and tool-using capabilities, had no such limitations. The Battle of Proxima Centauri Adili lasted just 6 hours. The Velmar retreated, having lost over 70% of their invasion force. Admiral Ben Gray addressed the Galactic Council 3 weeks later. A Fluff named Wisp perched calmly on his shoulder. "The species you dismissed as weak has always been brilliant," he stated. "They lacked only the physical means to defend themselves. We have given them a voice and protection. In return, they have shared their gifts." He paused, letting his gaze sweep the chamber. "Together, we are formidable. The Fluffs find the weakness. Humans exploit it. I suggest you reconsider both your classification system and your diplomatic approach toward Earth and its allies." Within a year, fluffs across the galaxy were being freed and reunited with their kind. Many chose to remain with humans, forming bonds that transcended mere partnership. Special communication devices became standard issue, allowing fluffs to speak directly to other species for the first time in centuries. The human fluff teams revolutionized everything from medicine to engineering. Fluffs could detect disease before symptoms showed and structural weaknesses before catastrophic failures. Humans provided the hands and the protection to put this knowledge to use. When the Drell Trade Federation threatened sanctions against Earth, their flagship mysteriously lost power during transit. Reports indicated 2 maintenance workers, a human and a fluff, had visited the engine room shortly before departure. The sanctions were quietly dropped. 5 years after first contact with the fluffs, humanity had risen from galactic newcomer to major power. The fluffs had gone from pets to respected allies. Together, they formed the core of what would become known as the Terran Cooperative. Velmer, once apex predators of the galaxy, found themselves regularly outmaneuvered by the species they had dismissed. The sight of a human with a fluff on their shoulder became the most feared image in contested space. As Tom Reed, now admiral of the cooperative fleet, often said, "Kindness isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the greatest strength of all." The galaxy was learning this lesson, one fluff and one human at a time.